Hello everyone, Revan619 here. How the devil are you? It seems that Anatoly, one of the executive producers at Owlcat, has given a new exclusive interview over to the guys at the New Games Festival. It was a bit hard to track down information for this because, I couldn't really see it covered in many articles. I think the only reason I even discovered it existed was I saw a Reddit post, but I managed to track down their YouTube, watched the interview, and got some of the new insights they put across. So what we learn is, obviously, this DLC is definitely focusing on Trazyn, which is something that we had been told before, but it was the big sticking point. They are looking to show some interesting takes on the Astra Militarum, so I'm quite curious of what they're going to be doing with the storyline there. There's going to be a new angle for the audience to look at the Mechanicus. Now, people are hoping this means a Tech Priest origin, but so far there's been no discussion on any new origins. They're adding a brand new system for augments, so this is going to be where you're replacing body parts with Imperium tech and possibly Xenos tech. Hopefully it ties into Act 3, because obviously some of your companions have some of their stuff robbed and implanted with other bits of implants. So there's going to be an elaboration on the story of Calcazar Xavier and his background, so we'll be finding out more about the events preceding the game and how everything ended up to the Shard of the Void Dragon. They said they're looking to be doing an interesting dive on the Von Valancius dynasty, so even before Theodora got involved, so maybe Trazyn's been involved with the rogue traders for the Von Valancius for a while. They're saying that they've got some new takes on dangerous wildlife, and they're going to be spending hours of gameplay in hazardous surroundings. So they're going to be designing a new environment and new sound system to really give you that feel that you're somewhere where you shouldn't be. They said there's also going to be a collection of displays and some crazy things in Trazyn's vault, so we don't know if we'll be probably exploring some wildlife with the Astra Militarum, maybe even coming across some Castian fighters or something, or if it's just going to be sort of a dangerous wildlife that's been messed up by the planet before we go into the vaults. It'll be interesting to see what they actually do. There's going to be expanding the void ship exploration, so this is our own void ship, so they're going to be updating some existing locations. We'll be exploring some new locations, which from DLC 1 I was very happy to see that. It actually makes me quite excited because I did like those bits and going into there. So we'll be visiting new places on the void ship, as I just said, as well as the old places. There is a new companion with unique combats and the unique new system of augmentations. This is going to be the big part of this DLC, and it means that we possibly might not even see new archetypes, possibly not even new origin unless they do go with this Tech Priest origin. It seems to be that their heavy focus is going to be on this new mechanic and how that impacts and changes how you play the game, which is why that they're going to be bringing back scope on what the DLC adds. If you remember in the last survey, there was a lot of corpo speak about, would you play a new DLC that was solely a companion or solely story in a companion? And I think that was prepping us to basically be ready to say that they're not adding a new archetype and possibly not adding a new origin, but that remains to be seen. But so let's not get too alarmed yet, we're still in the early times. Anatoly mentioned it's going to be around 12-15 hours of new gameplay, dialogue, rewards and battles, so I'm looking forward to seeing what new stuff we get added, and he said that potentially they're looking to expand the later parts of the Rogue Trader game. So hopefully this means that we'll be seeing some more stuff to Act 3 and 5, but chances are it could just be Act 2 and 4. But we do have a very good opportunity here for them to expand Act 5 encounters, because they said that there'll be new ways to mechanically engage with them. So I'm hoping that means that if, say, we've pissed off Trazyn in DLC 3, that he also shows up, and some of these battles have some non-tech blighted Necrons. But Owlcat have made it very clear that they very much consider Act 5 you just trying to finish the game, which is why it's very... They don't want to really expand and change that, because they kind of don't believe in post-game DLC, and they believe that people want to play DLCs that kind of come in at the start or the middle part of the game. They believe that's where there's the most value. Like I said, there's going to be a focus on the middle game and the end game. No final results yet for testing. He had actually previously mentioned, not in this interview, but possibly about some time shenanigans. So hopefully that means some Chronomancer encounters. It would make sense, because obviously GW have a lot of their hand in this, and they sort of push the same things around the same time. So there's a big focus in the miniatures for 500 worlds when it comes to Necrons. There's going to possibly be a push for Space Marine 3 for that. There's going to be push for that in Mechanicus. There's a push for that in Dawn of War, and we see that a Chronomancer does lead the Necrons in Dawn of War 4, so I wouldn't be surprised if that we have some battles engaging with a Chronomancer. So the augments of the new companion change how we engage with the existing game, as previously mentioned. I hope that the new companion isn't just another Tech Priest operative that is slightly different from Pascal, because they have access to different origins. Different augments, because if they add a tech priest that we can fully customize like Mechanicus, that would be cool, but we should be able to do that at Pascal. I don't want a new companion to do that. I want to do that to my boy. So, and if he also has that, then does that mean we're going to have two operatives that are exactly the same? The DLC starts around Footfall with a new sub-story, and like I said, they had said that this was going to obviously take a new look at the Astra Militarum, look at the Mechanica stuff, exploring some Trazyn's vaults, and exploring some local wildlife and some new dangers of that. So potentially maybe we'll see even some encounters being changed in other parts of the main story, or maybe it'll just be more side quest stuff. We'll have to wait and see. My hope that is, if they're not giving us a new archetype with 1.6, that they rework some of the existing ones. Like I think Operative and Tech Priest need a full overhaul, and then giving that to the player would be fantastic. Like there's no reason why we couldn't have a Tech Priest that becomes the Rogue Trader, well, especially seeing as we've had that for a Psyker in general, and even the fact that we had an Arbitrator that became one. Hell, even a Commissar becoming one. So yeah, there's a lot that they can do with it. I have pretty high hopes. I'm also working on a bit of a feedback spreadsheet with other creators, so I'll be putting that over to Alcat to see if they want to include some community feedback when it comes to the update. On the site at the moment, it is currently scheduled between April and June 2026. But we know Alcat love their delays, so that might not be set in stone. Hopefully it won't disappoint, and but Anatoly, I have a lot of trust in him, and he did say that he's looking to create something that will wow him as a player and change his experience. So the fact that he's looking to focus this more on the player experience and giving you a new way to engage with the game when you have that DLC, that makes me quite hopeful, because some DLCs, sometimes they just strap on stuff and there's a little side story to explore, or maybe they add post-game story, but Anatoly seems to like the idea of DLCs actually changing how you play the entire game, and for me that has me quite excited. Let me know what you think below, and tell me what you're looking forward to when it comes to it. Hopefully I should have some streams coming soon. I had a little bit of time off because I've been sick this week. But till next time, Revan out, and thanks for stopping by.